Seinfeld Chronicles, I think, came about indirectly, although I couldn't have charted this at the time I was doing it. But looking back, I can see it. Rob Reiner came to see Jerome Robbins. He was very complimentary to me about it. Next thing I know, there's a movie being done called Pretty Woman that Garry Marshall, his brother-in-law, is directing. And I wind up, after a somewhat torturous audition process, getting Pretty Woman. And shortly after the experience of doing Pretty Woman, Castle Rock, Rob Reiner's company, is trying to cast this George role. I'm in New York, because I don't do L.A., and the word goes out, put a dozen actors on tape. And they send 4 pages of the pilot script. No Jerry, no Larry, nobody to tell you what this thing is. Casting director is just a rent a room. And no script. Yeah, I don't even know what the whole thing is. And I also know nobody in New York gets a job this way. It's a formality, it's a courtesy, but you don't get the gig. So just looking at it and going, well, what can I do that would at least be interesting or notable? I said, boy, this sounds like Woody Allen dialogue. I went, all right, let's go that way. So I ran out, got a pair of glasses, and after having gone to Boston University and losing my New York accent completely, I affected essentially a Woody Allen impersonation. Very broad, New York, very nasal, very, with the stuttering. And I did that for 4 pages, and I left that audition going, wow, that was time wasted. I'll never see that again. And they called about a week later and said, we want to bring you out to Los Angeles to test for the network. Meet Jerry and test for the network. I went, okay. And got on a plane, went over to Castle Rock, met with Jerry and Larry. They couldn't have been more complimentary about the tape. I'm going, really? And Larry said, yeah, just, not so obviously Woody, but the accent, great, glasses, great. And, played around with Jerry a little bit, and then we went over to NBC. And the only other person auditioning that day was a guy who, I didn't know much about Jerry Seinfeld, but I did know who his best friend was. And his best friend was the other guy auditioning. And I went, well, the writing's on the wall here. I guess I'm here to keep him from asking for too much money. So I went into that room with nothing on it. I was as loose as could be because I knew I wasn't getting this part. Had a great time in the room. Said thank you very much. Got on the plane. By the time I landed in Kennedy, you got it. You're George.
Who was the other actor?
On that day, it was Larry Miller, who I'm sure was very good. Larry, you were very good. You would have been better than me.